Okay, so in this video, we're gonna walk through the troubleshooting step where your bike is not turning on. The bike we have here is Hub Duo that has dual battery setup on it. The plate for the secondary battery is not installed, but if you have one, the troubleshooting step would be the same. So the first we will start with checking the voltage output or the output voltage of the battery. In this case we are getting a 51 volt. If you are getting anywhere below 40 volt means your battery is not putting enough output to turn on your bike, so you may need to repair or replace the battery. If you are getting anything or anywhere above 42 volt means your bike should turn on. So this is how you check the battery output voltage. So the battery is good in this particular case. So now we're gonna go to the controller end of the bike and check whether this battery is able to deliver the voltage to the bike controller or not. Okay, so to access the bike controller we have to open this plate. There are 4 screws here, 1 2 3 4. Use 2.5 hex key, Allen key to remove the plate, and then you will see a aluminum box inside the cavity. Okay, so the plate is removed, and this is your controller, the brain for the bike. Sometimes there is a zip tie over here, cable tie. Just cut it open and this part will get loose. Okay, so here is your controller out of this cavity. The best practice is, while these all plugs are connected, use masking tape or something similar to mark them. So if you disconnect any of this plug, you remember what to connect where. So let's dig into this. Very first thing we are looking for is this cable that has 2 arrows on it. Make sure this cable is seated correctly. This is the main umbilical cord that runs within the bike frame and comes out over here, and it has 4 cables, one for display, one for your throttle, and 2 for your brake sensors. So this is the main umbilical harness. Now you will have this black box looking part. This is a dualizer. All it does is take the input from 2 batteries, the hidden battery and the range extender battery. So this is the input for 2 batteries, 2 yellow 60 plugs, and it gives one output to the motor controller. So if you follow this cable, it goes all the way to the controller end. So this is your dualizer, takes 2 input from 2 batteries, give one output. So make sure all these 3 plugs, they are seated correctly. Then you will have in this cavity 2 of these JST plug. Okay, you can see I have one here and one there. The one which has 2 black cable, one with a white stripe on it, this is for your headlight is going up. If you follow the cable, it is going up within the bike frame, so that is for your headlight. The other cable here, this is the second one. On the one side there is a red JST plug and the other side it is black. This is for your tail light. And you will have a third one looking similar JST. This is to charge your battery. So if you see, or if you have observed, here is a charging port for your internal battery. So that wire comes out over here and connect there. So this one will not be connected to your controller. It is just a loop. So you don't need to touch this one. If it is unplugged, make sure it is seated correctly by plugging it back. The controller side plug, you see this one, this is the yellow 3-pin female. This one will be unconnected on some of the bike. Okay, if you have really old model of this Hub Duo, maybe from 2020, then this should be connected to your shift sensor. But if you have your bike purchased in last couple of years, maybe 2-3 years, then this should remain unconnected, so this will not connect anywhere. Now we will have another similar looking plug, again with two arrows on it. I'm not sure whether you can see in this video or not, but these are the two arrows. This is your torque sensor. Your torque sensor is within the bottom bracket over here, so make sure there is no damage, nothing, and it is seated correctly. So that is done, that is done. As I mentioned earlier, the output from the dualizer will connect to this controller yellow plug, so that is connected. Yeah, so technically we have connection 1, or like plug 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 plugs, or the 5 leads from the controller, should be connected to the bike. Now say for example your bike is not turning on, so the best way to check this is, we tested the internal battery. Now the next step is, we got to test whether your battery is able to deliver the voltage to this controller or not. So all we're gonna do is, we're gonna disconnect it from here, and this is the output of the controller, and this is the input for the controller. So we're gonna check the voltage reading over here by installing either battery. Doesn't matter whether you put this one range extender on or the internal battery on. In this case we only have the internal battery, so we're gonna put that one on. Okay, so the internal battery is installed back on the bike. We already tested the output voltage of the battery. It was around 51 volt. So if we check the output volts over here, we should be getting the same reading. If we are getting it, then we can conclude that battery is able to deliver the voltage to the controller. Okay, so we are checking the output voltage at this end, and it is giving us the 51 volt, means your battery is good, and it is also able to deliver the voltage to the controller. Now at this stage, if you are getting this reading, it concludes that everything is good in terms of delivering voltage to the controller. And if your bike is still not turning on, then most probably the issue is could be with your display. We have seen both scenario where your display is faulty or your controller is faulty as well. So replacing one of them or both of them may fix the issue. Say for example you are not getting any reading at this end, then you can do is, you can remove this dualizer and check the input of a battery. So you can disconnect this one and now check the output voltage over here. Okay, so this is the plug of an internal battery that connects to the dualizer, and it is giving us the 51 volt. It means this plug is delivering the voltage to the dualizer. Say for example you are not getting any reading at this end, then there could be something wrong between the battery and this plug. There could be a loose connection, melt, or kind of a damage that is stopping the battery to deliver the voltage at that one particular yellow plug. Okay, as mentioned earlier, if you are not getting any voltage from the battery one, then the issue could be with this particular part. There is no enough lighting. Okay, let me get a light over here. Okay, so this is the part where your internal battery sits against or sits on. So if you're not getting any reading at the shown yellow plug previously, there could be the issue on the back of this particular receiver. You can remove this particular part just by using 3 mm hex key to remove these 3 screws, 1, 2 and 3. Once these 3 screws are out, you can literally pull this part out and observe or inspect the back of this particular battery receiver, we call it, and see if is there any damage or no. If there is no damage, then you should be getting reading to previously shown those yellow connections or yellow plugs. In some cases we also see this dualizer which is taking the input from two battery and give one output to the controller, can be the issue. So you can literally remove this, okay, disconnect all these three plug and it will be removed, and now you can just bypass it like this. So this is your controller side plug. Okay, if you only have one battery, internal battery, then it will connect there. If you have both battery, then you can order replacement dualizer from us to fix the issue. But to conclude whether your dualizer is faulty or not, okay, all you got to do is connect this plug connector, this controller plug. Yeah. So all you got to do is connect this internal battery yellow plug to the yellow plug on the controller side, so it completes the circuit. Now you put your internal battery in and your bike should turn on. So we're gonna try attempting turning on the bike when the dualizer is off the bike. Okay, so the battery is installed and now we're gonna turn on the bike and the bike turns on. So the entire circuit is complete. Say for example your bike is still not turning on after bypassing this dualizer, then the, as I mentioned earlier, issue could be with your controller, could be with your display. Okay, we can supply you both of them to try it out and it should fix your issue for sure, because motor is just the motor, it has nothing to do with your bike, or it will not cause your bike to turn off. This is your motor plug. If this one stays disconnected or little loose, it will give you the error code on the display, but it will not end up in an issue where the bike will not turn on. So this is the entire troubleshooting for the Hub Duo bike when it is not turning on.